right, good morning. Good morning. It's 43 minutes after the hour on this Monday, the 4th day of August. Things are moving along fast. Hello, everyone. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. I hope you guys had a good weekend. And yes, it is Storm Talk today. You're right, Nikki. It is that kind of ominous music, right? But nothing severe is really expected at all over the next several days. It's fairly quiet. It's more of an issue of, is it going to be rain or is it going to be really hot? And that's really the two debates we're going to be having over the next couple of weeks. No big systems coming our way because there's other parts of the weather pattern that are taking over as the leaders and the more extreme nature of weather, if you will. And once they gather their attention, they're like, hey, over here, pay attention to what we're doing, and that causes the rest of the country and the weather pattern to relax a bit. So we'll actually be out of some of the weather drama here soon, while other parts of the world get a little more wild. You probably know where I'm going with that. I'll cover that in more detail. But first, good morning to you all. I do hope you had a good weekend. It was a nice weekend. A lot of you on YouTube this morning. Good morning to everyone. Blue, I think you were first this morning, if I remember right. And ZK is here, Nikki is here, and Albert, and we have Amy is on Facebook. Good morning, Amy. Good to always hear from you. Facebookers are usually a little quieter, I've noticed, than YouTubers. Why is that? I wonder why that is. You think YouTubers are just, maybe you can use a little more of an ominous name or, anonymous name versus your profile that's on Facebook, maybe? I don't know. I just always thought it was interesting that people are more chatty, it seems like, on YouTube. Maybe it's the interface is easier. That's possible. I think Twitch is easy as well. A lot of you are like, what is Twitch? Never use it, but I like Twitch's interface a lot as well, which is why I've always added on here for the live streams. I will win one of these mornings, said Jacob says. Yeah, you will, Jacob. It was real close. I mean, I think it was you and Blue were like right there and popping in on who's first. Always YouTubers like to fight to get the first spot there. Okay, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to move on and let's get into some of the good news that we have to share and a mix of bad news. Of course, one of the bigger things that I think is always important to point out is the countdown to fall. And you won't be doing this every single day, guys. All right, so we're under the 50-day mark. Whew, that was a tough climb, but we're there. Under 50 days now. Oh, boy, once you get under the 30, then it really gets exciting because then you can start having more taste of fall weather once you get within the 30-day window. And once you get within 10 days, you tend to really run the risk of getting fall weather. It doesn't always arrive right on time. Now, last year, it actually did. Down to the day, we went from 90-degree weather to 70s, right on cue. So, hey, you never know, and right in our area, right? This past weekend, what a dip this was. Look at that. Barely into the 80s this weekend. Some of you did not make it out of the 70s. The lows at night in the 50s were awesome. Gave our ACs a break, gave our mentality a break as well, because that heat was just getting annoying. So it was nice to be outside and be able to get stuff done and not worry about sweating so much as walking to the mailbox. So have a chance to get a lot of our chores done. You may have noticed, too, just how bright of a weekend it was, too. Very, very bright and sunny out. You didn't have as much of that haze like we have on those more humid days. So I hope you enjoyed it. It was a nice setup. Where are we at today? Well, today it's the clouds, yeah. And unfortunately, this is going to be an issue a good chunk of the day today. It's going to be one of those Mondays. It's going to look and feel every bit of a Monday. Sorry. We've already had some showers out there. We've got a few actually on the radar now. We are expecting more to develop, and I'm including Louisville in that zone that will fire up later on for this afternoon, this evening. So we're not done here in Louisville based on the latest data trends. There's a live look there at from the harbors toward Jeffersonville. Also want to show you this, the State Fair. The crews are getting all ready to go, loading up everything into the south wing, north wing lobbies. So it's always a sign. I should be able to start showing you the rides here soon. They usually get those set up about a week in advance. So they should be getting the midway or the thrillway set up very soon as well. So that was kind of cool. All right, get you back over to the clouds because you want to see that more, don't you? We've got current temperatures running in the 70s because of the cloudy nature outside. 74 here in Louisville, 72 down in E-Town, 68 into Bedford. That's at least comfortable. We'll take that. I don't think anyone's going to complain too much. What'd you say, Ryan? Glad I got some rain, just seeded my food plot. Well, there you go. I meant to hope to do grass seed this year. Obviously, I know this is it wasn't too long of a spell of cool weather to do grass seed. I know the lesson on that. Usually it's better wait until the fall. But that's what I'm gearing for, is trying to get nice weather to get some Facebook, or get some grass seeds. Read Michael, read your comment. Facebook Live here. Good morning. Hi, Michael. Sorry about that. Hello, Adam. Over in Bloomington, of course. Still the 60s there, you saying, Adam. All right. Hey, DJ up in North Vernon. Appreciate you guys watching way up there, too, in Jennings County. Okay, so here's the deal. We've got this very weak boundary in the area, just kind of throwing showers. It's kind of backwards, really. Everything's drifting more north and northwest, and that trend will continue today. We've already had our first round. Even produced a flood advisory briefly for one or two of those, not far from Martin County, Indiana. But otherwise, it's just been very spotty showers. These are the roosterines, the birds taking off from the radar beams. That's those little weird echoes are this morning that we always talk about. But anyway, the purple martins there. The rest of this, though, is rain indeed. And again, with the sun trying to come out at times in this zone, and it will be tough, but it will try to create just enough modest heating today that we're likely to get some more showers and perhaps even some thunderstorms. Again, nothing severe expected out of this, but some lightning and thunder may form this afternoon near Louisville or the 64 corridor, and they'll drift in the same direction, back to the north and northwest. But they could contain some heavy rain there in a few pockets, all right? Current batch of showers there into Bedford, Indiana, all the way to Paoli. Notice that they're trying to regenerate into Orange County. It looks like one's leaving, and all of a sudden they just get friends at the last minute. So the moisture field is pretty consistent because, again, it's a boundary. It's stuck over us, a machine, if you will, for the atmosphere. So it keeps just generating more and more showers if it finds an opportunity to do so. And it could be a cloudy scenario like you see in Orange County, or it could be like in Louisville later on, where we'll just regenerate downpours and thunderstorms in the heat of the day. Here's a wider view showing it's attached really to a tropical low that has really been an issue in the southeast corner of the country for days and weeks, it seems like. Not able to really get fully organized because it's in the center of it's really over land, but it is making things just messy and I'm sure aggravating with these tropical downpours across the Gulf. But it does indicate that the weather pattern is relatively stagnant. There's not a whole lot able to move here, so that's why our trough that is in our area is not in a hurry to go anywhere. If, in fact, it will disappear by being absorbed by this low pressure into the southeast corner of the country. It will just blend right into it, and that's what will slowly improve our weather. But that's going to take a few days for that to happen. You may notice some activity out here into the Atlantic as well. Well, the reason for that is we do have another named system we need to welcome on the map. One we've been waiting for a while, that is Dexter. Dexter is a tropical storm, likely to stay north of Bermuda. In fact, will likely stay north of any land area, not bother anyone whatsoever. It's what we call a fish storm, likely to stay out to sea. Current track takes it to a tropical storm that doesn't really get to hurricane status, it looks like. Looks like it's going to stay below that and then drift. But the warmer waters of the North Atlantic should maintain it for a while. So it still may hold its structure together even as it heads toward the United Kingdom, which would be interesting to see later. But there are two other areas we're watching as well that are not involved in Dexter's zone. That would be that tropical low that we talked about in Florida that will drift back over the waters there of the Carolinas the next few days. Not an area you want to be in. Could develop into something. And then a tropical wave that came off the coast of Africa that is forecast to develop, about 50% chance of doing that as it heads a little more into the open Atlantic. But where it goes from there, well, it depends on the fronts that we have moving through the eastern United States. If we still have a low pressure here into the Carolinas, well, this thing's not going to like that, and it's going to want to find a different way to go. Or, in our case, we have a few more fronts to keep on the drop down into the Midwest. And if that continues to be the case, which we've seen all summer long, if that continues to be the case, then, yeah, anything that tries to get really north of the Bahamas is likely going to have a turn out to sea. Now, the exception to that will be anything that can stay closer to the Caribbean islands. If that's the case, it could easily go into the Gulf without really much of an interruption. But it really would have to be on that southern side of development for that to happen. Otherwise, I got a feeling it's going to get too far into getting caught in the westerlies, and that turn will happen fairly quick. But anyway, that's a long way off, so let's not get too in the weeds on that. But at least you know that that is what we're watching. 3 systems, one of them fully developed now as a tropical storm. Dexter. I think everyone was hoping Dexter would be something dramatic for the United States as far as it's being a system that moves in with rain and gets a lot of memes out of it, not destructive, you know what I mean? All right, so let's get into our weather in the short term. You can see those downpours. Watch what happens this afternoon. You start to see just enough heating. Again, you don't have gold here on Cape, right? You just get the red. Just enough fuel to allow for some lightning and thunder and some pockets of heavier rain for this afternoon and evening. Once we get into tonight, we'll see that slowly begin to diminish into the overnight hours tomorrow. A near repeat tomorrow. Coverage may not be as great, but it's the same storyline. I mean, the trough's still there, so you can get a random shower, really, day or night, and that kind of a setup. Then after Wednesday, we start to see the boundary of south. This is where it starts to get absorbed. We may get Wednesday with a few thunderstorms, but after that, it should start to get its absorption into the low in the southeast, and that should allow for a bit of a drying trend toward the weekend, at least late week. I'm trying to sneeze. Oh, I hate that moment when you really just want to bite your, like you bite your gums, you bite your cheek, you hope that you don't sneeze. Okay, I get past. Good. I've never sneezed on air, and I don't want to. I don't want you guys to be the first. Trust me. Okay, so where was I at? I get distracted so easily. This weekend, there's a tropical low. Oh, there it is, spinning. There's the heat, by the way. Oh boy, it's really hot. Triple-digit heat. The ring of fire is ongoing in this area too. We're just in this weird, I don't want to say Goldilocks area, but we're actually not in a bad spot. We're away from the intense heat, but we're not quite into the tropical low. So we're kind of in that in-between spot, which actually keeps us normal for early August standards. Not bad for the first few days of school. It could be worse, could be better. Yeah, it could be better, but it could be worse. This is doable. This is a doable weather pattern for us for late week. Now, once we get into the end period here, let me backtrack this a bit. We get into the weekend, don't see much action really other than a few thunderstorms. It'll be hot, temperatures right around 90, increasing maybe above 90, but we've been really underplaying on highs the past few weeks, so I think overall it's going to be close to 90 on a daily basis really for the weekend. Then another front around the 11th and the 12th. This will be about a week from today. Another front is dropping in. Now, I was hoping this would be a front that would drop in with another dramatic cool down, because at first the modeling showed that sign, and I'm saying it showed that sign in June that there would be a front in mid-August. So we've been tracking this a long time, and as we've gotten closer, it has not looked as deep of a trough. It will be enough, though, to fire up showers and thunderstorms about a week from today, and it will certainly, if there's anything tropical that tries to come toward the United States, it's going to either be forced far west or it'll have no choice but to turn, so that will keep it away from us as long as the timing of the front does hold around the 12th. After that, and the front dissipates, we may see another repeat on this, but I got a feeling we're going to see fewer fronts for just about a 10 to 15 day window in August, and unfortunately I think that may start opening the door more to tropical influence for the second half there of August. That's a long way off. I'm working on that more tomorrow. As always, I try to do long-term stuff a little more toward the middle of the week, and I will be doing that for you guys as well. All right, let's get into the 10-day. Let you guys see how that's trending. 83 today, 85 tomorrow. Yes, a scattering of showers and storms outside, not an all-day washout, but just beware. And again, we're not talking about severe weather here. We're talking about just clusters of downpours, lightning the main hazard overall. And then when we get into the middle of the week and into the week, really, the trough again gets absorbed, and we start to heat up. And for this weekend, it's really just spotty showers and thunderstorms, but again, not a washout at all for the weekend. We did raise the chance for rain there about Tuesday of next week already in advance, because we know the front's coming next week. The timing may vary about 24 hours, but we know the front will be coming, and we should have a drop. I just don't think it's going to be as much of a drop as we just went through, but at least a modest one is coming our way. Okay, I've rambled a lot about nothing, I felt like. Hi, everybody. Sneeze control. It's tough. Sneeze control is tough. You're up to 70 now, Adam. Oh, you're showing off now. Oh, this is an interesting comment. Hello, Michael. You do know, Mr. Meteorologist, your job is currently being phased out. With AI, artificial intelligence, making such a big move, it can give us a lot faster and more precise information than any meteorologist can. Well, Some of your statements right, Michael, but not all of it. We've already learned with recent weather trends that AI has not done well. It does have a high score on picking out some long-term patterns, but when it comes to specifics, it doesn't do well. And that's where your meteorologist, your local meteorologist, comes handy into the mix, because we're able to pick out what we've known in history of systems moving through, what has happened before, and be able to alert you guys to either false situations that are showing really aggressive weather situations, or if we feel that the models are downplaying the situation and we think it's going to be worse based on history, that's where we can come in as well. But I do not agree with your statement. I can understand why you would say that and why that's being very popular, because AI does do well in a lot of things. There's no way to ignore that. That is certainly true that that's the case. Taking out the human error equation is fine. But as I've mentioned several times, due to the chaos theory, even AI is never going to get that right. It's a near impossible for meteorology to be that way. So that's what's fascinating about it. It can get close, but unfortunately, it will never be right all the way. And that's the challenge that AI has got. But the illusion right now, because it's so popular, is that it can do everything, and that's not entirely true. But anyway, it's fun to talk about, and it's fun to see the creativity of it all. I'm not going to discount any of that. But besides, I've heard that AI does not like snow. I've heard that. I don't know if it's a rumor or not. I heard it. So if that's the truth on that, I'm not sure I would believe it. I think it's got an agenda. Yeah, AI scares me a little bit, because AI is learning about other things within itself, and AI can start to alter some of the reality. We found that even in some other data we've been trying to scurry through, is it thinks it figures out a solution and comes up with one crazy outcome that it's learning, basically, but it's hard to explain. It's scary sometimes. It's scary. I like it, don't get me wrong. I think it's a cool aspect of the future, but boy, some of the stuff I see is scary. Brian ain't going anywhere. Well, I'm not going anywhere yet. That's true. Not yet. I don't know what the future will be like with the way the world is in technology. But for now, I'm here. All right, guys. I appreciate you all. Yes, I will be at the fair with the rest of the crew. When is that? What is today? The 4th? The 19th. So, yeah, we've got about 2 weeks, and we'll be out there. So it'll be here before you know it. So I hope you guys will be out there at the fair and say hello to us, get some photos. I still want to do a meet and greet with all of you, and I still owe you all another chat night with Brian, where we have a moment to just talk and catch up and story time. I'm working on another night of that. I think you guys liked that last time, and I think we'll do it again. All right, I'm going to run. You guys take care. I'll be on at midday. We'll see how the radar trends are with these downpours in the area. Again, very scattered nature. We may get a break here in Louisville for the next few hours, but late this afternoon, evening, the radar should light back up again. More on that today at 11 a.m. See you then.